Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Dr. Dikko Umaru Radda, PhD, CON, the representative of the Jigawa State Governor, the Deputy Governor, Engineer Aminu Usman, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Katsina State, Faruk Lal Jobe, the Chairman, House Committee on Agricultural Production, Honorable Bello Kauje Kogunam Gondu, and other honorable members of the House of Representatives here present, the Right Honorable Speaker of Katsina House of Assembly, Nasir Yahaya Daura, and other members of the Katsina State House of Assembly, my colleagues, the Honorable Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, the Honorable Minister of Housing, Engineer Muntaka Rabi Dharma, the Honorable Minister of State, Dr. Aliu Sabi Abdullahi CON Baradem Borgu, the former Deputy Governor and the DG of the renewed Home Ambassadors of Katsina State, His Excellency Tukur Jikamshi, the Katsina State SSG Chief of Staff, Head of Service, Honorable Commissioners of Agriculture of Katsina State and Kaduna State, and other Honorable Commissioners here present, our Royal Fathers, the Executive Secretary of the National Agricultural Development Fund, the son of the soil, Malan Mohammed Abu Ibrahim, another son of the soil, the DG Seed Council, Honorable Fatihu Mohammed, the President of All Farmers Association of Nigeria and the State Chairman of AFAN, and of course I would never forget the State Chairman and executives of the ruling party, the All Progressive Congress here in Katsina State, and other party members, distinguished officials both from federal and state governments, our valued and esteemed farmers here present, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Food security is not won in grand declarations. It is won season by season, farmer by farmer, input by input. Today in Katsina, we add another season to that count. It is with genuine pleasure that I join the Chief Host, our brother, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Malam Dikko Radda, PhD, in welcoming our distinguished guests for the Northwest Zonal Flag-off of the Farm Input Support Program, FISP Phase 1, and for the distribution of 100,800 bags of fertilizer to 25,200 smallholder farmers across Katsina, Kano, Kaduna, Kebbi, and Jigawa states. Today's flag-off will also witness the formal handing over of 20,160 bags of fertilizer to each executive governor for onward distribution to 5,040 smallholder farmers registered with their respective state governments and branches of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, AFAN. Each of the 5 states receives an equal allocation. The Northwest is one of Nigeria's great agricultural heartlands, fed by great rivers and worked by farmers whose skill is passed from one generation to the next. Across these 5 states, the fields yield the grains that fill the nation's granaries: maize, millet, rice, and sorghum. The same fields grow cowpea, onions, and wheat. This is the land that once raised the granite pyramids of Kano. But land, however generous, does not feed a nation on its own. A blessing must be tended, and fertile ground answers only the hands that prepare it and the inputs that unlock it. That is the work we have gathered here to advance. To carry that work forward, The federal government of Nigeria, through the National Agricultural Development Fund, NADF, has made this flag-off and distribution of fertilizer a milestone in its commitment to the smallholder farmers of the Northwest as they build resilience towards a more bountiful 2026 wet season. The Farm Input Support Program Phase 1 is an economic and social impact intervention of His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, GCFR, by which the National Agricultural Development Fund provides fertilizers as a grant to smallholder farmers and in the process address a crop productivity gap while supporting indigenous fertilizer producers to upscale production to meet the demand. Through this, our smallholder farmers get a vital farm input, whilst indigenous fertilizer producers who have produced the fertilizer being distributed today boost industrial production. This structural linkage has multiplier policy deliverables such as sustainable job creation and, most importantly, the food security for which the Northwest is renowned. One intervention, three gains: input for the farmer, output for the producer, food security for the nation. In combination, these are structural pillars that provide food for a growing population, both in the beneficiary states and nationally. Farm Input Support Program is essentially a homegrown policy intervention designed to address long-identified gaps in the crop cultivation value chain with the objective of facilitating sustainable rural economic growth, development and transformation in the Northwest states and in Nigeria at large. This did not begin today. The farm input support interventions in 2025 began with Agro 1, under which agro processors were strategically identified and provided fertilizers and pesticides at subsidized rates for distribution to smallholder farmers registered within their clusters. The policy objective was the creation of structural linkages between verified agro processors and registered smallholder farmers so that farm produce would have guaranteed off-takers. This is vital for seamless market access that benefits the smallholder farmers, the agro processors, and ultimately the ordinary Nigerian consumers who can purchase farm produce at reasonable prices. Fertilizer is a farm input of consequential value, and crop cultivation rests upon it. Apply it right, and you draw even more from the same land without clearing an acre more. Nigeria, as a member of the Committee of Nations, is not entirely immune to the man-made and natural disruptions that distorts its availability from one season to the next. The average application rate of our smallholder farmers too often falls below the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO recommended 50 kilograms per hectare. And where fertilizer falls short, so does the harvest. With the support and cooperation of the Northwest, the National Agricultural Development Fund, and the entire Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, we are determined to close that gap through targeted interventions such as this program, the Farm Input Support Program. Permit me to acknowledge Your Excellencies, our royal fathers, our national and state legislators, and vital stakeholders whose partnership today made today possible. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, our sister agencies, the security services and corporate partners, the members of the Fertilizer Producers and Suppliers Association of Nigeria, FEPSAN. What we mark today is the work of many hands moving in one direction. Let me return to where this begins and where it must end, with the farmer. Babu Manoma, Babu Abinci. No farmers, no food. This administration did not wait. In July 2023, His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, GCFR, declared a state of emergency on food security. That was not the language of ceremony. It was a charge to every minister, every governor, every arm of government that the feeding of this nation could not wait any longer. For no nation is truly free until it can feed itself from its own soil. And today in Katsina, we answer that same charge, not with promises, but with fertilizer, not with plans, but with delivery. This flag-off also provides ample opportunity to pay tribute to renewed hope agriculture policy thrust, where targeted policy interventions being implemented by President Bola Tinubu GCFR are stabilizing food prices, moderating inflationary pressures, and restoring confidence in Nigeria's agroeconomic transformation. Food security is not won in a single day. It is won season by season, farmer by farmer, input by input. Today, the Northwest has taken its turn. It is therefore my honor to thank the chief host, His Excellency Malam Dikko Umaru Radda, PhD, CON, and all excellencies present here for graciously flagging off this distribution, and to wish every farmer a bountiful 2026 season. May the Almighty Allah crown our collective efforts with lasting peace and prosperity in our dear states. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.